All right, guys, we're back. Garrett and Meg, the Rusiks.
And this is Talk Like a Jock.
Excited to have you guys back, hopefully, listening.
Mm-hmm.
Excited for this episode. We got a lot that we're going to get into. So I'm just going to go ahead and toss the ball on over to Meg, and she can kind of take it from here.
Yeah, I feel like a lot happened this week, and there's no way we're going to be able to touch on it all. But one of the big things that happened the night we filmed the episode last week, Caitlin Clark broke the record for, what was it, most points in women's college basketball?
Yep.
Blows my mind.
Pretty wild thing. Yeah, she knows how to play ball. That's for sure.
Yeah.
They did a little episode. Sue Bird did this little thing on ESPN Plus. She went over, talked with, Caitlin and kind of just talked about influences. It was really cool to see, of course, Caitlin's influences. She mentioned, a lot of people that, like, Steph Curry as far as like 3-point shooting and stuff like that. She also mentioned Jimmer Fredette, which as BYU fans, that's pretty cool. And it's just cool because if I were to comp her game to anybody's, it would be Jimmer. I mean, just the way she shoots, she's more comfortable shooting off the dribble than she is shooting just off a pass or like spotting up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how Jimmer was. I don't know if there was anybody better, back then from shooting from distance than off the dribble than she is.
I'll have to admit I haven't watched a full game, but I have seen some clips here and there on social media, and my jaw just like drops.
I mean,
I don't think I could just throw the basketball that far, let alone make a basket.
Right, flicking it. It's actually absurd. And of course, in typical Caitlin fashion, the way she broke the record, she pulled up from the logo,
yeah.
Just wild.
It's just been so cool to see like women's basketball for that. Like you don't see very many sold out games. Tickets were selling for hundreds of dollars. Like I feel like she has just kind of elevated it a little bit, and I'm really excited for all the other girls on the team and all the girls watching her. I think that is just such a cool thing to look up to.
Yeah,
this
it is.
Generation.
It is really cool. And I will say this is that women's basketball probably for over the last 4 to 5 years has been just growing every year.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the last 2 years, I would say, of college basketball. Really, it's just gotten bigger and bigger, and that a lot has to do with Caitlin Clark. A lot has to do with LSU and Angel Reese and what's going on down there. Obviously, South Carolina's had a good team for a while. Even University of Utah's got a great team right now. So, really cool to see the game growing in that sense. But like you said, just crazy. It's exact like the Caitlin Clark mania. The line around the building, it gave me flashbacks to 2011, watching my favorite player, Jimmer.
Yeah.
Just do essentially the same stuff. And of course, Caitlin is in her own category. There's no comparison. There's no she's Jimmer part 2 or she's so and so part 2. No, she's the only Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think she's anybody's part 2, which is pretty cool.
So which is just awesome, and like I said, it's cool to see her have so much success in the game of basketball with surrounding women just grow more and more.
Another big thing, speaking of women's basketball, the Sabrina and Steph Curry 3-point contest.
Yes.
That was fun too. That all started on Twitter, X, formerly known as Twitter. I saw like some tweet exchanges between Sabrina and Steph, and then they made it happen.
Yeah.
Which I just thought was really cool too. And she shot from the NBA line, and I don't know. I just thought it was great. Another cool thing for like people growing up, like girls wanting to do sports, to see that sort of competitiveness. I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah, I think you just hit the nail on the head there saying competitiveness. I think that's the coolest thing is it's just two people that are just
great ball players,
but just ultra competitors.
Yeah.
That are going out there, and I thought it was really cool. Sabrina did shoot from the NBA 3-point line, used her own ball, and I think a lot of people were giving her some gripes for that because it was the women's ball. But you have to understand, is she shoots with the women's ball every day, all day,
Yeah.
right? That's like it's just different, you know? I think the distance was perfect equalizer. Yeah, the perfect equalizer.
Yeah, it was
And
good to see that.
I think she scored a 26,
Yeah.
which Damian Lillard won the 3-point contest for the NBA, and he shot 26 was his score.
Yeah.
I think it's a unanimous opinion that Stephen Curry is the greatest shooter of the basketball of all time. So it's not like, oh, there you go, there we proved it. You know, that's boys versus girls. No, it's Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time.
Yeah.
So, but like you said, really cool to see two competitors step up on the big stage there. Added another cool element to the NBA All-Star game, which I'll be honest is kind of awful to me. I don't like the All-Star game itself.
Like
the
I
dunk
already
contest was so.
Really?
I did not like the dunk. You don't see any stars in it, and I will say this: a lot of people have been giving Jaylen Brown crap because he went out there. I won't say he was amazing in the dunk contest, but I will say this: I don't remember the last time we've seen an NBA All-Star be like, "I want to compete in the dunk contest." Like, even when Donovan Mitchell won the dunk contest, it was his rookie year. He wasn't like an established star.
Yeah.
Like, I miss seeing the Blake Griffins.
I wonder
I miss
why.
seeing, the Zach LaVine dunk contest, Aaron Gordon.
It makes sense, but it also just kind of like sucks for us as viewers because that's what we want to see. But obviously, we don't want anybody to get hurt. And I think the NBA, didn't they just come out with some sort of rule, or they were proposing a rule where like you had to play a certain amount of games? Like they were upping the amount of games you had to play because so many of these people, like LeBron James, were sitting out for majority of the in-season games.
Yeah.
Maybe not majority.
I don't know the stats on LeBron and sitting out. I don't know that, I know he's had injuries, but for the most part, I do feel like LeBron does play. But there are players, stars like Joel Embiid, who they don't play a very long time during the season. A lot of people, not me, feel like numbers can be supremely inflated because he's only playing so many games. So of course his averages are higher than other players because he's playing less games. I don't know. It's tough to say. Guys like Joel Embiid do have injury history. You don't ever want to force someone to play so many games, but at the same time, I do miss the players that would just. Russell Westbrook, I think while he was in Oklahoma City, I haven't tracked him since then, but I'm pretty sure like his first 5 years or 6 years in the NBA, he hadn't missed a single game dating back to when he was a freshman at UCLA.
Wow.
Like, I miss seeing those guys
that
just
like you don't see
on
that
the court
very
every day,
much anymore.
which is why you guys should know I don't have a favorite NBA team.
Mm-hmm.
I've always just liked players. That's why Anthony Edwards, I've kind of adopted the Timberwolves as my team because of him. Because he came out and said, like, no, I'm going to try to play as many games as I can because we have fans coming out, trying to watch me play. A kid could travel hundreds of miles to come see me play.
Yeah.
He shows up and I'm not on the lineup because I'm just resting. So getting injured is one thing, but I think you're right. We do a lot of times to see the resting come into play.
So I'll be interested to see what comes of that rule. I mean, that's one of the reasons I like college basketball so much better is because they just seem to want it more. And speaking of college basketball, I'm going to shamelessly plug our episode coming out in the next couple weeks. We will be talking all about March Madness and giving you all the advice that you'll need in order to fill out your brackets with your family, with your coworkers, and everything to actually be competitive this year. So be looking out for that.
Yeah, and you better take that one with a grain of salt. I mean, it's the March Madness, so you can be as good as you hope to be. But
madness happens.
Anyways, madness happens. Nothing gets you in the zone quite like a Fresca and Kanye West. Man, guys, Fresca really is good stuff, though. Like, I know we do our sponsorship stuff for them, but it's actually really good. I don't know why my wife's laughing.
Because we drink so much of it.
So much of it.
It's
but
so
I don't
bad.
even care. I'll die with a Fresca in my hand, I think, now.
All right. Well, let's get back into it. What else opened this week, Garrett?
Well, it happened today.
Oh, today.
Today was the day that it happened.
Today being Thursday.
Thursday, February 22nd. Baseball started. Oh my gosh. I am so excited.
Oh, my days.
And oh my days. Oh my days. Oh my days. Baseball is back.
Oh, geez.
I'm so excited. So I think it's a good time to get into.
I have so many
Myself,
questions
though.
about baseball.
But I just probably should explain myself.
Oh, explain why you're a Dodgers fan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, story time.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was born in Utah, born and raised in Utah. As you may know, there is no MLB team in Utah. As you may know, there is no NFL team in Utah. Those are the two professional sports that I follow religiously. Like I said, NBA, not really a fan of any team. I mean, sure, I like the Jazz, but not really. Like, you know what I mean? And so you wonder, I'm a Chiefs fan and I'm a Dodgers fan. And while right now that seems like so bandwagony, trust me, I get it. I get it all the time. But there's an easy and really, really good good explanation for it.
Very simple.
It's very simple. Okay? My mom, she grew up in Kansas City area, in northern Missouri, a little town called Albany. So she grew up in Kansas City.
Die-hard Chiefs
She's
fan.
a Chiefs fan, so
That's how you
obviously grew up
became
a
a
Chiefs
Chiefs
fan, right? So I grew up a Chiefs fan. Now, on the other hand, my dad, he grew up in LA, in Newport. So he grew up huge Dodgers fan. And to understand me, you have to realize that my dad was my sports coach for basically every team growing up. My travel team for baseball, my football team, my basketball teams, right? And so, of course, naturally, I just kind of fell in line with him as far as sports teams to follow.
yeah, he raised his sons Dodgers fans.
So we're Dodgers
For
fans. And of course, I do love the Royals still, but I've grown up a Dodgers fan.
Yeah.
Now that being said, it has not been sunshine and rainbows, guys. Guys, the first player that I really remember from the Dodgers, and of course I remember a lot, but James Loney at first base is one of them. Rafael Furcal at shortstop. Chad Billingsley, the starting pitcher. Just that's how far back my time as a Dodgers fan goes.
Yeah, you've been a Dodgers fan your whole life.
So
Never once doubted.
all this to say, the Dodgers got really good in 2019. Well, the Dodgers have always been good, but they, went to the World Series in 17. Obviously, cheaters beat them. 18, they lost to Red Sox, one of the best teams. And then, of course, I go on my mission. And then the year I'm on my mission, the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, and the Dodgers win the World Series. And so that's kind of just...
You don't even get to watch.
I didn't get to watch those because on your mission, you're not able to watch sporting events or TV or anything like that. So you guys can understand.
So we missed it.
All this to kind of explain my fanhood so that you guys aren't like, this person's a freaking bandwagon. No, I'm not, okay?
It's been his whole life.
It's been my whole
It's
life.
how he was raised.
I'm only blessed with current success. And to be honest, the Dodgers, other than the 2020 World Series, it's been kind of heartbreak. I mean, we lost in 2 World Series. We've choked in the playoffs the last 2 years. So, it's not something that's
got
all
our
been
fingers
sunshine and
crossed
rainbows.
for this season.
So anyways, that explains it. And so today, the Dodgers beat up on the littlest brother, the Padres. 8 runs in the first inning. It was beautiful. It was beautiful to see.
In spring training.
Spring training ball.
Okay, so I have a question about spring training. I have been to spring training games. I'm from Arizona. Never thought to ask this, though. So spring training, do the starters, I don't know what they call them, do the main guys play in spring training, or is this more second level B team, practice? What is the purpose of spring training?
Yeah, so spring training is exactly what it sounds like. It's basically a tune-up, right, to get you ready for the season.
So the big players play then?
They do play, but it's not like they're playing every inning, every pitch.
Okay.
For instance, pitchers will have a pitch count, right? And so, and shout out, because I didn't really know this, but Cody, one of our friends, he kind of gave me some insider info. Is pitchers will basically be given they'll be told hey, you're gonna have 20 pitches, or hey, you're gonna have this many pitches, before the game. So Joe Musgrove pitched for the Padres. They said going in he was gonna have 20 pitches. He didn't make it out of the first inning without recording an out, but still, as soon as he hit the 20 pitches, they pulled him.
Okay.
Guys that were, starting in line at Mookie probably got 2 at-bats, and then they pulled him. Things like that.
So that makes sense.
So they're playing, but it's also a great time for them to see what else they have in the farm, right? All the other developmental leagues that they have, players like that. So it's good to see those type of guys against, big league arms.
So that leads into my next question.
Yes.
I'd say baseball has one of the most complicated. It's just so complicated. I don't even know what to call it because it's called the farming system. So
farm system.
So the football has a draft.
The football, just football.
Yeah, the basketball has a draft, and they have a G League that I know of. But baseball, I feel like it is on a whole other level because you can be drafted by a team, but you're not actually on that. You're not going to see them on your TV screen playing with that team. They're on there's leagues below the big league that we feel like don't really hear about very often. And I know this only because I have a friend in the league. So can you elaborate for us?
So I'll give you
on the farming system.
It's like that Michael Scott meme. Tell it to me like I'm 6.
Yeah, I'm tell it
So
to me like I'm
I'll explain it to you as basic as possible.
Please.
Each organization owns a certain amount of affiliate teams, right? So baseball, a lot of baseball is about development, which is just another reason why I love it, right? It's not just the
best of the best.
Of course, the best of the best are in the league. If you are in the MLB, there's no such thing as, oh my gosh, he sucks. I don't care what anybody says. If you're in the MLB on the 40-man roster, you are freaking good at baseball. I don't care what anyone says. So to kind of explain it, let's go as if you were drafted. Okay.
Yeah.
So first, if you're drafted, say you're drafted by whatever team, the Dodgers.
Okay.
Each team has affiliate leagues. So there's about 5 leagues that I know of. There's single A, then there's high A, then there's double A, then there's triple A, and then there's the MLB. Right? So triple A is, so you work your way up to the different leagues, and each league is better competition, right? Better players.
Yeah.
And you work up, and then eventually you get to the major leagues, right? So you would start typically at single A, and you kind of progress just based on how you perform, right? And you move up in the leagues, and you basically still play a full baseball season, but you're playing with the affiliate team. And in any moment during that season, you could get called up to the next level.
Okay.
So if I start out in double A, and I, say I'm a left fielder, I'm batting 310.
You're doing really good.
I'm hitting the ball really well, and say the AAA outfielder or the starting left fielder in the MLB team, he gets hurt, so they pull up the AAA guy to be on the bench so that their backup can move in. I might get called up to the AAA for just a couple weeks, however long it takes to rehab, play AAA ball for a bit, and then get sent back down because the guy's not injured anymore. Or I could just be scorching hot and really good at baseball, and you can just work your way up in the leagues, right?
Okay.
So that's kind of as basic as it gets. It's really good, developmental league. It's really good development for the players, is what I should say.
Yeah. So each league then has a different managing team. You're playing for a different coach. The main coach isn't coaching all of them. But they don't call him a coach,
They're
right?
managers.
Yeah. Okay.
So but that coaching staff, they are employees of the organization.
Yeah.
Still. So that's what is really fascinating. I think that, of course, you have GMs for each team, general managers, and director of operations, right? You look at this, NBA, cool. Those guys, GMs, deal with 12, 13, 14 guys.
I was just thinking that.
GMs for the MLB are just a whole nother level because they know their players from top to bottom. Of course, you have scouts and you have managers that you trust their word of mouth too. But I don't know. You get me started talking about baseball. I just love it. Like,
Yeah.
it's so deep. And so that's why I really want to point out to people, like, the fact that Mike Trout and Bryce Harper were in the MLB at the age of 18, 19. The fact that Corbin Carroll is in the league as early as he did. Like, guys, that's absurd. Like, Tatis, even though I'm not a fan of Tatis, getting to the league when he was 18, 19, 20. Wild. That is wild. That just means, I just can't even get over it.
I feel like baseball is one of those sports where you look at it, like if you sit down and watch a baseball game, you're like, yeah, there's really not much that goes into this. But it's like a duck on water. Like the duck is floating, chilling, looking like there's not much effort, but underneath the water, it's flapping. Like there's so much precision and skill that goes into just like the act of the game. But then you think about the whole farming system, everything that's below there, what a player has to do to actually get to the majors. Like it's really impressive.
I mean, put that aside, and also the fact that hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in all of sports.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, the video you showed me. The video.
Yeah, I showed Meg a video, and it was this guy, and it was like baseball players trying other sports.
And he's just
kind of he's not killing it, but he's doing a shot, he's shooting a basket, he's
hitting
throwing
a straight
the football,
drive,
and then it says professional athletes trying baseball, and then there's the video of Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is probably one of the freakest athletes on the planet. And he can't even hit the ball off the tee.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm going to say, there's guys in the NFL that can hit baseballs. A.J. Brown played baseball.
A lot of them played.
So, yeah, baseball it gets a bad rap. But honestly, if you get into it, you will learn to just love it. It's my favorite sport.
All right. If you want to like baseball more, first off, learning about it is super helpful. Second off, there are some really good baseball movies out there. Let's name 3 that I can think of. Moneyball.
Moneyball is
if you want to learn more
the
about
best sports movie.
Yeah.
It's my top 5 favorite movie of all time.
Easy. Highly, highly recommend. Okay, Moneyball. For the love of the game.
Yeah,
that one is a good one. I just watched that one.
With Kevin Costner.
That one is another. You kind of get an eye into like pitching and things. I don't know. The third one was the guy. It shows the guy and he like comes up. He's the high school.
The Rookie.
The Rookie.
That's a great movie too.
There's 3.
There's 3 great movies that you guys could tune in and watch
during this. If you can't go to a spring training game, pop in a movie.
Of course, this is more you'll see it at the professional level. Actually, if you want to watch, The Rookie is like actually really good.
It's pretty eye-opening.
Not just eye-opening, it's based on a true story, but also it very simply shows the progression from single A, double A, like it shows all of those progressions because he plays in double A, he plays in triple A, and then he plays in the league. So 3 good movies, honestly, that I would always recommend to everybody.
All right. So in baseball, what's the off season like? Trading, like, is it pretty similar to other sports? Is it free agency? Like what? Give me a quick synopsis.
Yeah, I mean, there's free agency. There are dead periods where you're not allowed to talk to players.
Okay.
I mean, just like
and then the trade deadline is like mid-season, right?
Yeah, during the season, just like any other sport. A lot of action happens in the trade deadline. I will say baseball, as of the last, I feel like 10 years or so, has gotten a lot more like players move around a lot more now, I feel like. Or maybe I'm just recognizing it now.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I feel like during, like, I don't know, maybe a couple months ago, I feel like I saw the Dodgers in the news every, like, if not every single day, but at least every week. Like, they were constantly, I feel like they have a whole new team.
The Dodgers had the best offseason I have ever seen a team have.
You think?
Ever. I mean, yes.
Did anybody come close? Because I've heard some things about, like, the Orioles have been thrown out there a lot.
The Orioles didn't have, like, a good, like,
off season, but they're
no. They had a good off season, but they have the best farm system in baseball.
Oh, okay,
I mean, Jackson Holliday, he's a freak. They've got, I mean, they're young.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the league, they're young. So
yeah.
They're a great team. That's probably what you've seen. But as far as off seasons go, nobody touched the Dodgers.
Yeah. What would you say, like, turning moment for the Dodgers this offseason.
Yeah. Well, if you're not a baseball follower, I mean, this is something it's just amazing. The Dodgers signed Shohei Ohtani, who has been the best player in the MLB for 3-4 years now.
Who did he play for before?
He played for the Los Angeles Angels.
Okay.
Yeah. And so he is amazing because he pitches and he hits, which
you don't see very often.
Well, no, you don't see it all. So you don't see it all. People don't.
Oh,
people don't.
You literally don't do that.
he changed the rules of baseball basically.
They changed the rules so that he could hit.
Well, they changed the rules because normally if you pull your starting pitcher out, he's out. But they made a rule where he can be the starting pitcher and the DH at the same time.
Designated hitter is what DH stands for.
Yeah, designated hitter. That's a person that just hits. He doesn't play in the field, he just hits. But kind of, in this case, the Shohei Ohtani rule, he can be the starting pitcher and he can hit. So he's very valuable. He has 2 unanimous MVPs from the American League MVPs.
I hope he's very valuable because how much are they paying him?
Okay, well, this is where it gets really cool. So the
this
Dodgers
is
signed
insane.
him to a $700 million, 10-year, $700 million.
$700 million. How old is he?
Shohei is 29 years old. 29 years old.
$700 million over 10 years, still $70 million. A year.
No?
What do you mean no?
So this is what's so cool about Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani wanted to win so badly. He, first of all, chose to go to the Dodgers.
He had a lot of people looking at him, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, everyone wants him.
Yeah.
But I think it came down to kind of more the Blue Jays and the Dodgers, which the Dodgers won. Mm-hmm. So what's really cool is 10 years, $700 million contract. But Shohei is deferring $680 million of that contract. So that means...
that leaves $10 million.
$10 million. So he's deferring it all to the end of his contract, which means the next 4 or 5 years, the Dodgers are only paying him $2 million a year, which is so low. There are players making way more than him in the league in the next couple
Okay,
years.
that's what doesn't make sense to me either. Okay, so he defers it to the end. So what, in 10 years, if he's still in the Dodgers, they're just going to shell out $680 million from their savings? Or
well, I mean, you have to realize that they're $1 billion business, so they have the money.
Still, $680 million.
And they'll be able to kind of change, do it in bonuses, do it in, make...
So he'll get more than $2 million.
Oh, well, I mean, he'll get his $700 million. He's obligated to get it, but he's not
every
getting
year.
it. He's not getting it all at once, so that the Dodgers have cap space, so that they have more money to sign other really good players, so that they can just win.
Yeah, so they pretty much found a way around the rule.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a loophole, but it's not, because any team can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's and it was Shohei's idea. That's the coolest part, is that Shohei was the one that was like, hey, let's do this.
Yeah, I think that just speaks to how much he wants to win. He knew that he can't do it by himself. He needed a good team.
Yeah.
And so he left the money to get the good team, knowing he's set for life because he just got $700 million.
Yeah, and so that's really cool because that was the tipping point for the Dodgers this offseason.
Okay.
Do
you think, was he the first, and then because they signed him, they were able to sign a bunch of other All-Stars, or do you think he only came because they had already set up so well?
Here's the thing, and this is... You can call it biased, but the Dodgers organization is well known as one of just the best organizations to play for. The way they treat their players from the farm system all the way up, they're just so good. So it's kind of just widely known. So it's not like players want to play for the Dodgers. I mean, look, Mookie Betts wanted to play for the Dodgers, got extended. Freddie Freeman chose the Dodgers in free agency. So it's not like, oh, Shohei's there, now everyone wants to go. I mean, there's a reason Shohei wanted to be a Dodger, right?
Okay.
And so I think, in fact, the fact that they signed such a big contract would almost be like, oh, they don't have enough money left over, but the Dodgers found a way to make it.
They deferred it.
They got that. They traded for Tyler Glasnow right after that, a starting pitcher, which is what the Dodgers desperately needed. Great guy from the Tampa Bay Rays. He had a couple, I guess he explained in a podcast, one arm injury that has just kind of been constant, but he figured it out this last year. So when he's healthy, he's nasty.
Okay.
Then just kind of, it was crazy because things would just happen. Teoscar Hernandez was on the Mariners this last year. He's a free agent. And basically, it was between like the Padres and the Giants, I think, were the two teams that were like really looking at him. And then all of a sudden, like I wake up and he signed with the Dodgers. And it was just like, whoa, he took less money. He deferred part of his contract to be with the Dodgers. And it was like the Dodgers have just built such an amazing team.
Yeah.
And they already, and it should be noted that the Dodgers consistently have a top 5 to 7 farm system in baseball. So they just built a monster, an absolute monster. Then, I didn't even mention him. Freaking Yamamoto, the pitcher from the Japanese league, he pitched for Japan in the World Baseball Classic, caught everybody's eye. He signed with the Dodgers too. So we have Shohei and Yama. Wow. So I think he's gonna just be nasty. And we'll get Walker Buehler back this year. He's gonna be nasty. I'm just saying, if the Dodgers don't win the World Series, heads are gonna roll. Like manager Dave Roberts, he has a lot more pressure this year than any other year. I mean, the Dodgers have had some.
They've definitely set him up for success.
Yeah, I mean, and they've done that the last 10 years. They just haven't
sealed the deal.
In the playoffs, they just go dull. And so, but this year, there's literally no excuse unless the players just all get hurt. We don't have any of them.
Oh, that would be so horrible.
So that's a highlight. My favorite highlight back, Gavin Lux, who's just my guy. Ever since AAA, I've liked Gavin Lux. He tore his ACL in spring training last year. Couldn't play all last year. It was good to see him at the plate today. Really good. He's going to be the everyday shortstop for the Dodgers. And mark my words on this podcast, on February 22nd, Gavin Lux, even in the highly stacked National League, Gavin Lux will be an all-star this year.
All right.
And he'll be a shortstop, so that's going to be tough competition, but he will be an all-star this year, I think.
All right. Speaking of predictions, let's make your World Series prediction. World Series finals, who's playing against who, and how many?
Just the World Series. Not finals, but just World Series.
What do they call the games before the World Series?
The National League Championship Series, the NLCS, the American League Championship Series, ALCS, NLCS, NLDS, ALDS, and then the series. Just like in basketball is called the finals. It's called the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, like they have
Western
different conferences.
Finals. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's
those conferences
there's the wild card, then there's the divisional series, then there's the conference series, the National League.
Are we talking about baseball?
Baseball.
Oh my gosh. See, like I said, you think there's one level of baseball? Nope.
No, it's normal playoff bracket. I'm just saying the World Series is just like
So the World Series is the final one. Okay. Yeah. World Series predictions and how many games is it going to? Who's playing who and how many games?
I'm going to go out on a limb here.
All right.
And say the Dodgers are going to be in the World Series. Now, the American League is going to be really tough. This is so hard. I think it's going to be the Yankees and the Dodgers. Just
Yankees and the Dodgers. That is a classic.
It's ratings for that World Series are going to be through the roof to have two of those huge market teams there.
Yeah. All right. So how many games?
It's going to be. It'll be 5 games.
You think 5?
It'll be 5. Dodgers in 5. Dodgers in 6.
Dodgers in 6.
Dodgers in 6.
All right.
And that's a comp. I mean, that's giving them.
Are you locking it in?
I'm locking it in. Dodgers at 6.
Sounds good. I'm not even gonna try.
I'm not even gonna lock in. I won't lock in the American League quite yet. I'm just.
What do you mean?
Okay, fine. I'll lock it in. Dodgers and Yanks. I hate saying that.
Maybe after
Yankees are just as disappointing as the
Maybe
Dodgers.
after spring training we can reassess.
How about after the All-Star break?
Sure, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, All-Star break for like mid-season. We'll readdress.
Like after the trade deadline?
Yeah, that works. Because then
you're already mid-season. Like
yeah, but
you
don't
do
know.
it before.
I don't know what injuries are gonna happen.
Yeah, that's the whole
Baseball's
fun
a long
of the
season.
prediction.
Hun. That's why I'm doing 2.
Okay.
Because by the All-Star break, it could very well still be Dodgers and Yanks.
All right, sounds good. We'll do 2.
Okay.
Maybe by then I'll have enough knowledge to make a prediction.
This is Meg's first year. Well, no, not really. She usually doesn't watch baseball with me. Maybe she will this year.
There's just, like, I thought football had a lot of games. No. Baseball, again, whole other
and
level.
I will watch them all.
And all of them. Everything. And it's such a long season. I'm going to watch a lot of baseball this year.
She's going to do a lot of puzzles this year.
Really looking forward to it.
So, yes.
No, it'll be good. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. I literally can't tell you the smile that was put on my face when I was watching that game today. I just like kind of had it up while I was working. And I was just like the biggest grin.
It's back.
Man, guys, if you're looking for some sort of date, you live in an area with the team, heck, even Utah, go to a Bees game. Like, literally, there's nothing better than going to a baseball game.
Yeah, baseball games, I will say, are so fun to go to.
So fun.
I'll happily go to a baseball game.
Yeah. So go to one, and I'm just so pumped for the baseball season. I can't even tell you. I'm just like...
And to close us out, per usual, Garrett, what can I say?
All right, what can I say? Well, we're just going to keep it really, really simple here, guys.
All right, good. Love that.
Okay, well, there's going to be one I'm going to say.
We'll keep it on theme with we've talked about baseball
it's going to be
this
baseball,
episode.
So we're going to talk about the baseball.
What can I say about baseball?
What can you say about baseball? First thing you can say about baseball is I cannot believe how stacked the Dodgers are.
All right.
Or the Dodgers are so stacked.
All right.
Just because that's fact. No one's going to argue that. I mean, anybody that's
like if people are talking about their team, you'd be like, okay, but you guys,
the Dodgers
are stacked.
People are like talking about baseball. Like, I can't believe the Dodgers. And honestly, you can say it in a hating way. I don't even care. If you're like, oh, yeah, I can't believe how stacked the Dodgers are.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't matter the tone you use it in. People are going to agree, and it will be great.
All right.
And yeah, we'll just keep it there for now.
Sounds great.
So, again, we're happy that you guys are listening. If you're still listening, subscribe. Guys, please subscribe. And please
like and subscribe.
Share it. Like, seriously, because we want this to grow, and we think it's a good idea. So, we need your help. Help us out. But for now, we're going to go on a little cruise here, and we'll get back from our little cruise, and we'll have a next episode ready for you later. So
catch us next week.
Catch us up next week on
Talk Like a Jock.